Hello and welcome to Mouse in the Mitten Trivia Pod, a podcast where you can test your Disney trivia knowledge over a variety of topics. My name's Court and I will be your host. Our game will consist of 5 rounds of 6 questions covering everything from your basic Disney knowledge to some unknown facts. Each question is worth 1 point unless otherwise noted. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mouse in the Mitten. And if you're watching us over on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe, turn on that bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. Now, there are a lot of changes that go on in Disney, and there are a lot of really special celebrations that go on in Disney. And if you want to be part of those special celebrations, or you want some up-to-date information, you can reach out to me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com. We can get you all taken care of and all set. Now, it is, of course, Halloween. I don't have the money for a fancy costume. I don't have the money for special music, anything like that. But we can still celebrate with some of our categories today. And we're going to start right off at the top with the Tower of Terror. Last week we did a lot on the Haunted Mansion. So, of course, we're going to talk all about the Tower of Terror. So let's get started with question number 1. What park is the location of the original Tower of Terror? Question number 2. What TV series is the original location based on? Question number 3. What movie is the Disney California Adventures version based on that opened in 2017? Question number 4. How many Tower of Terrors are there across the Disney parks? Question number 5. How tall is the original Tower of Terror? And question number 6. In June of 2021, a movie based on the ride was announced and was planned to star what actress? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music to see if you can come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's give you some answers here on the Tower of Terror. So question number 1. What park is the location of the original Tower of Terror? Well, that would be Hollywood Studios. And if you had said MGM Studios, same thing. Obviously, it's down in Disney World. That is the original location. Now, it did not open the same day that Hollywood Studios or MGM opened. It did follow a few years later. Question number 2. What TV series is the original location based on? Well, it's based on The Twilight Zone. Now, this is a TV show from like the 50s, like way, way, way back. So some of the things that you see pre-show, they had to kind of obviously computer animate, kind of doctor a little bit to be able to kind of go with the theme of the Tower of Terror. Question number 3. What movie is the Disney California Adventure version based on that opened in 2017? Well, that would be Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, originally, the California Adventure one was the exact same as the one in Orlando, but they decided to change it up and theme it after Guardians of the Galaxy. I have not been on it. Everyone says it's really cool. The layover is really cool, and some of the different screens and the different variations that you get are really cool. So definitely on the top of my list if I ever make it out to California. Question number 4. How many Tower of Terrors are there across the Disney parks? Well, there are 4. Obviously, we already talked about Disney World and California Adventures, but Paris and Tokyo Seas also have their own versions of Tower of Terror. Now, again, storyline, a little bit different, but all kind of along that same premise. The idea is that the ride goes up and then goes down really, really fast, and then goes back up, and then goes down really, really fast. That's kind of the main premise there. Question number 5. How tall is the original Tower of Terror? Well, it is 199 feet tall. Now, in Florida, and I'm not sure if this is all across the United States, I imagine it's similar, but if a structure is over 200 feet tall, you have to put a beacon on it so that way airplanes and helicopters and that know that it's there. By having it just under 200 feet, they didn't need that beacon on there, so that's why they made it only 199 feet. They tried to get as close as they could without going over, so that way they can make it that much more of a thrilling ride. Last but not least, question number 6. In June of 2021, a movie based on the ride was announced and was planned to star what actress? Well, that would be Scarlett Johansson. Now, nothing has really come out since. It technically hasn't been completely shelved, but there's still a possibility that it could come out. Is Scarlett Johansson still part of it? Who knows? It's been 3 years and nothing new has come out on it. It's probably stuck in Project Blue or whatever Disney calls it, and hopefully we'll see it, but at this point, not right now. All we have to do is settle for an amazing ride and definitely a ton of fun. Continuing on now into round number 2. Round number 2 is our fast facts. This round is filled with simple questions that have simple answers. Today's category is ride track soundtracks. Last week we had movie soundtracks. Today we're going to talk about Disney ride soundtracks. The way this is going to work is I'm going to name a song from a Disney ride. You just have to tell me what ride is associated with that song. For example, if I were to say Zippity Doo Dah, you would say Splash Mountain, RIP to a great. So let's get started here with question number 1. Grim Grinning Ghosts. Question number 2. There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. Question number 3. Yo Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me. Question number 4. In the Big Blue World. Question number 5. The Century of Change. And question number 6. Special Spice. Now, the Disney rides, there are a lot of really cool sounds. Let's see if we can connect some of these with their appropriate rides. Let's get started here with question number 1. Grim Grinning Ghosts. Well, that is the Haunted Mansion. Obviously, talked about it last week. You know, the Grim Grinning Ghosts come out to socialize. Yeah, that's a, again, classic. I've heard it a ton this time of year for good reason. It's a great song. Question number 2. There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. Well, that is the Carousel of Progress. Again, one of my favorite spots to be able to take a quick little nap there in Magic Kingdom. And plus, it's a great song, a great typical Sherman Brothers song if there's ever been one. Question number 3. Yo Ho, A Pirate's Life for Me. Well, that is, of course, Pirates of the Caribbean. Doesn't matter which version you go on. That yo ho, a pirate's life for me. That is the song that you hear and it just makes you smile. Question number 4. In the Big Blue World. Well, that is the Seas of Nemo and Friends. Now, if you had said the Finding Nemo musical, yes, that is the same thing. But for the ride here, that is the Seas with Nemo and Friends in Epcot. Question number 5. The Century of Change. Well, that is the Hall of Presidents. This is the one, there's just as they're starting to get into like the 1900s and they're talking about FDR and everything else like that at the beginning of the 1900s, that's where that song comes into play. Last but not least, question number 6. Special Spice. That is Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and that is the song that after you come down the hill and you start to go around the corner, this is the song that you are hearing is Special Spice. And it's a cool song. I like it. I'm as we sat here and they announced Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I was trying to figure out like, hey, what songs are going to put in, where are they going to put them, that sort of stuff. The fact they went with original music is also really, really cool just to kind of further the story. I think it's a really cool take and it makes it a lot of fun as well. But there are a ton of really good music all throughout the parks. This is just a small little snippet. Continuing on now into round number 3. Round number 3 is our Connecting the Circles. For this round, I'm going to ask you 5 questions that may or may not be related, but the answers do relate somehow through Disney, and that's going to be your 6th and final question. So let's get started here with question number 1. Who has done the music for Beetlejuice, Wednesday, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Age of Ultron, and Beetlejuice? Question number 2. Who plays Kate McAllister, Kevin's mom in Home Alone? Question number 3. Who is best known for playing Pee Wee Herman? Question number 4. Name the actor best known for his role in the Broadway version of It Ain't Misbehavin' and Cats. Question number 5. What Whose Line Is It Anyway participant is also known for his role in Star Wars Episode 1 and Brother Bear? And question number 6 is, what is that connection? I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's see if we can connect those circles. So question number 1. Who has done the music for Beetlejuice, Wednesday, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Age of Ultron, and Beetlejuice? Well, that is Danny Elfman, known for a lot of different versions of his music and a lot of different movies that are iconic. This might be another connection somewhere down the future with the music that he's done. My hope is, I said a certain name in that question 3 times. It wasn't successively, so I'm hoping that nothing bad happens. Continuing on, question number 2. Who plays Kate McAllister, Kevin's mom in Home Alone? Well, that is Catherine O'Hara, and does a great job. She has a lot of really good roles, and especially on Schitt's Creek, that was phenomenal. One of my favorite versions of her as well. Question number 3. Who is best known for playing Pee Wee Herman? Well, that is Paul Reubens. Unfortunately, we lost him just a few years ago, but he is best known for playing Pee Wee Herman. And he has another connection here. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Question number 4. Name the actor best known for his role on Broadway in Ain't Misbehavin' and Cats. Well, that is Ken Page. Now, again, we just recently lost him as well, but definitely a Broadway legend. Not necessarily a movie and film legend or a TV and film legend, but he is a Broadway legend and definitely set some standards there, especially in Cats. Question number 5. What Whose Line Is It Anyway participant is also known for his role in Star Wars Episode 1 and Brother Bear? Well, that is Greg Proops. In Star Wars Episode 1, he's one of the commentators in the racing, and then in Brother Bear, he's one of the moose that you hear throughout the movie with the big Canadian accent, eh? And does a great job. My Canadian accent there was really bad. I'm sorry. I apologize for it. So question number 6 is, what is the connection? Well, we had answers such as Danny Elfman, Catherine O'Hara, Paul Reubens, Ken Page, and Greg Proops. The connection there? They're all in A Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, Danny Elfman, yes, he helped to make the music. He also did some of the singing for Jack Skellington. Catherine O'Hara, Paul Reubens, they were part of the trick-or-treaters in there. And then Ken Page, he was Oogie Boogie, of course. That is what he is best known for in the film industry, is Oogie Boogie. And then Greg Proops, he just had a couple of lines here and there, but definitely a fun group, and definitely a great movie, which is why we are going to talk about that for round number 4. So round number 4 is dedicated to A Nightmare Before Christmas. It is a perfect spooky season movie. Jack Skellington is in there and trying to figure out his ways, trying to figure out what is the meaning of Halloween, and at the same time, kind of what's the meaning of Christmas, which warms my Christmas loving heart. So let's get started here with question number 1. Within 2, what year did The Nightmare Before Christmas come out? Question number 2. What former Disney animator was the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas? Question number 3. What kind of animation was used for The Nightmare Before Christmas and features taking a bunch of pictures? Question number 4. Jack enlists the best trick-or-treaters in Halloween Town to capture Santa. The first time, they were not successful. Who did the trick-or-treaters bring instead of Santa? Question number 5. What song does Jack want the string quartet to play and samples the song on a set of bells? And question number 6. In the scene where Jack is delivering presents, a lot of the presents were representation of the director's previous work. What movie did the cat and duck represent? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. some answers here on The Nightmare Before Christmas. So question number 1. Within 2, what year did The Nightmare Before Christmas come out? Well, it came out on October 29th, 1993. So in order to get the point there, would have had to say between 1991 and 1995. Now, again, a classic movie. It's been around for a long time. If you haven't watched it yet during spooky season, I mean, today's your last day, but I mean, you can technically watch it tomorrow. It holds up. It's a really good movie. Just the animation, the style, it's fantastic. Question number 2. What former Disney animator was the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas? Well, that would be Tim Burton. Now, he has a lot of connections and he brings in a lot of friends for this movie. And we'll talk about one of the movies that he was working on at the same time as The Nightmare Before Christmas a little bit later, but definitely a visionary in the way that he was. Definitely a little bit too dark for Disney, but he certainly made this one work. Question number 3. What kind of animation was used for The Nightmare Before Christmas and features taking a bunch of pictures? Well, that would be claymation or stop motion. Same thing. Stop motion and claymation, you take a bunch of pictures, and the difference is in claymation, you move the little figurines a little at a time, little at a time, little at a time. In stop motion, it can technically be done with actual like people and other things like that, but it's taking a bunch of pictures, putting them all together to create an animated film or a film in general. It's a lot of what like you see these days with animation, where it's just like move this little thing, move a little thing, move a little thing, move, and that's what it's similar to now. And that's how we also get some of the smoothness as well. Question number 4. Jack enlists the best trick-or-treaters in Halloween Town to capture Santa. The first time, they were not successful. Who did the trick-or-treaters bring instead of Santa? Well, they brought the Easter Bunny. The very first time that the trick-or-treaters came to Jack and they were told to go get Santa, they brought back the Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny was a little bit confused, obviously very scared, especially to what the Easter Bunny came into. Question number 5. What song does Jack want the string quartet to play and samples the song in a set of bells? Well, that is Jingle Bells. He kind of has a string of bells and he hits it and goes ding, 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 ding. And the string quartet kind of mocks that. Now, it doesn't sound as joyful as you would like to think, but again, they're still in Halloween Town. Everything is very scary and very spooky. Last but not least, question number 6. In this scene where Jack is delivering presents, a lot of the presents were representation of the director, Tim Burton's, previous works. What movie did The Cat and the Duck represent? Well, they represented Batman Returns, which came out a year before this one came out, the year before The Nightmare Before Christmas, and he was working on those at the same time. Matter of fact, they would film The Nightmare Before Christmas and then send him the samples while he was on set for Batman Returns. And there are a couple little homages, like there's a snake that represents Beetlejuice, which he was part of as well. So a lot of different connections there. And again, a continuation of the connections that Tim Burton has with some of his friends, like Danny Elfman was also part of both Batman Returns and Beetlejuice. So he has a lot of connections that he likes to bring with him. And again, a great movie, perfect for this time of year and continuing on into the Christmas season. Continuing on now into round number 5, and we're going to wrap up today's game with a little bit of questions on some monster movies. We're going to talk specifically about Monsters, Inc. and Monsters University. Going to blend them together for a fantastic round. So let's get started here with question number 1. Within 2, what year did Monsters, Inc. come out in theaters? Question number 2. Who is Mike's roommate at Monsters University when he arrives on campus? Question number 3. What fraternity do Mike and Sully join and participate as members of in the Scared Games? Question number 4. What is the full name of the CEO of Monsters Incorporated and has a big plot twist? Question number 5. What mainstay of The Office voiced one of the characters at the beginning of Monsters University? And question number 6. What Harvard tradition has a modified version in Monsters University? All right, I'm going to give you a few seconds worth of music, try to come up with those answers, and then I will return. All right, let's give you some answers here on monster movies. So question number 1. Within 2, what year did Monsters, Inc. come out in theaters? Well, it came out on November 2nd, 2001. So in order to get the point there, what it had to say between 1999 and 2003. Again, very early Pixar. And the fact that they had all that hair on Sully, the animation on the hair alone took forever. And it is done beautifully. It is done fantastically. So very, very cool. Question number 2. Who is Mike's roommate at Monsters University when he arrives on campus? Well, that is Randall. Believe it or not, Randall was the roommate for Mike when he first arrived and was this really kind of nerdy, shy guy, and eventually, unraveled from there. Question number 3. What fraternity do Mike and Sully join and participate as a member of in the Scare Games? Well, that is Uzma Kappa, or OK. I still like their little chant of "We're okay." We're okay. It's really funny in my personal opinion. So I love it. The Uzma Kappa fraternity is awesome. Question number 4. What is the full name of the CEO of Monsters Incorporated and has a big plot twist? Well, that is Henry J. Waternoose III. Obviously, everyone just calls him Waternoose, but his full name is Henry J. Waternoose III. And he talks about how, his father built the company, his father's father built the company, and he wasn't going to let it die, and and everything else like that, and his big plot twist. And we found out laughter is more powerful than screams. Question number 5. What mainstay of The Office voiced one of the characters at the beginning of Monsters University? That is John Krasinski. Now, Mike's entire class, when he was in elementary school, goes to the scare floor and they see the monsters that are interacting, and John Krasinski's character takes off his hat and gives it to Mike Wazowski, and we also get to see him scare a little bit as well. It's kind of cool. It's one of those things where it's like, that sounds like John Krasinski. You look it up, yep, that was him. Last but not least, question number 6. What Harvard tradition has a modified version in Monsters University? That is touching a statue for luck. Now, at Harvard, it is tradition to touch John Harvard's left foot as you walk past it. And if you actually look at the statue, the left foot is actually polished because it's such a tradition that everyone touches it. In Monsters University, they show a similar tradition where everyone touches the paw of a monster as they walk past it to get into the scare school. So it's something that's kind of a little homage there. But again, both movies are fantastic, a great watch, so much fun. If you get an opportunity to check it out, either before you go out trick-or-treating or just in general, always a good watch. I want to thank you for tuning in this week. I will return next week with more questions and more fun. Make sure that you are following us on social media at Mouse in the Mitten on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you're watching us over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and in the comments down below, let us know your score. If you're listening to us, hopefully you're following us on Apple Podcasts. If you're not, make sure you do that. If you're listening to us on another platform, make sure you subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review wherever you can. Also, if you are planning a Disney vacation or you need a little bit of help planning your next Disney vacation, I would love to help you get it all taken care of and all squared away. All you got to do is email me at mouseinthemitten@gmail.com. Get you all set and all squared away. Well, hey, my name's Court. The dog's name is Milo. Have a safe and happy Halloween, and I will see you next time.